The universe is a deafening place. If you tune a radio telescope to the deep sky, you are instantly hit by a chaotic wall of noise, pouring out of violent pulsars and exploding stars. Cutting through that static was the primary mission of the Big Ear Radio Observatory at Ohio State University in 1977. But searching for a deliberate transmission presents an immediate mathematical problem. With millions of possible radio frequencies to choose from, astronomers had to guess exactly which channel an alien civilization might decide to broadcast on. This diagram shows the radio spectrum, highlighting a very specific channel at 1420 megahertz. This is the universal frequency of hydrogen, the most abundant element in space, leading scientists to hypothesize it could serve as a mutual, cosmic meeting place. Finding extraterrestrial intelligence meant ignoring a roaring ocean of natural interference, hoping to catch a single, incredibly quiet whisper on that exact frequency. On an August night, volunteer astronomer Jerry Ehman was reviewing stacks of routine, physically printed data logs generated by the telescope. Hidden inside those endless columns of mundane numbers, he spotted a spike in intensity that defied every expectation. The printer had spit out a specific alphanumeric sequence, 6EQUJ5. Ehman was so stunned by what he was looking at, he grabbed a red pen, circled the sequence, and wrote "wow" in the margin. This single piece of paper immediately launched a decades-long effort to debunk its origin. Astronomers knew that unless they could prove these numbers were a fluke or a terrestrial error, they were looking at a signal that perfectly imitated a deliberate broadcast. To understand why this data was so shocking, you have to read it the way the telescope logged it. The numbers 1 through 9 represent normal, low-level background noise in deep space. This bar chart illustrates how the telescope records escalating signal strength. Once intensity exceeds 9, the computer switches to letters, starting at A, moving through the alphabet to represent exponentially higher power. The letter U indicates this signal was 30 times louder than normal ambient noise. And this massive surge in energy wasn't scattered randomly. It was recorded exactly on the 1420 megahertz hydrogen line. This represents a highly concentrated blast of energy placed exactly on the 1420 megahertz frequency predicted by the waterhole hypothesis. But the scientific method demands intense skepticism. Before anyone could consider an extraterrestrial origin, researchers had to exhaustively eliminate every natural cause and earthly explanation. This graph plots the signal's intensity over a 72-second bell curve. Because the Big Ear telescope was completely stationary and relied on the Earth's rotation to slowly scan the sky, any point in deep space would slowly rise in volume and fade out over exactly 72 seconds. The wow signal matched this curve perfectly, proving it wasn't a passing airplane. It also couldn't be a terrestrial signal bouncing off a satellite. International law strictly protects the 1420 megahertz band, banning earthly broadcasts on that frequency. They tested natural theories too. While comets can emit radio waves, they create messy, wideband static. They do not produce perfectly isolated, narrow frequency spikes. By surviving this grueling forensic elimination, the WOW signal remains the most resilient candidate for an artificial signal ever recorded, matching the exact technical profile predicted for an intentional interstellar broadcast. In the immediate aftermath, astronomers scrambled to point their most sensitive equipment right back at the signal's origin point, in the Sagittarius constellation. They heard absolutely nothing. And in the 4 decades since, using vastly superior technology to scan those exact coordinates, the result has been total silence. This hits the absolute bedrock rule of the scientific method. For a discovery to be confirmed, it must be repeatable. That empty sky is actually a testament to the rigor of the search. No matter how perfect the 1977 data is, astronomers refuse to declare contact based on a single, unrepeatable event. Because it completely defies explanation, it remains the most baffling, unresolved mystery in modern astronomy. Researchers eventually proposed the lighthouse hypothesis. It could just be that for 72 seconds in the summer of 1977, the Earth simply happened to be standing in the light.